Hello, Internet, and thank you for joining me today. So, currently, I am slumped really low in my chair, and I am holding this microphone just a few inches from my face because I feel unwell, but I feel compelled to try to get some thoughts out here about Long Legs, which I just finished watching uh, because they're going to be fresh in my mind. And I'm probably not going to see this movie again for a long, long time. So we're going to try to get through this and try to get as many of my thoughts out there into the world as I possibly can. So, with that mini ramble out of the way, let me talk about Long Legs, which I just finished. Long Legs, this movie came out earlier this year. I really wanted to see it in theaters, but I never got the chance to go see it for one reason or another. And so it came out on streaming today. So I thought I would go ahead and give it a try, and I did. And overall, just like my quick 10-second review here, uh, it's good. It's not bad. I don't think that it lived up to the hype that I was expecting, but it's damn good. It's actually very good, and I'm gonna get into it. But in a change of pace here, I'd like to go ahead and actually get my negatives out of the way, uh, because I have a lot of actually good things to say about this movie, and the good things are the far more interesting things. So, without further ado, let me get into the bad. So, the worst part of this movie by far is definitely the script, which it's kind of weird because I don't see it as a wholly unfixable script, nor do I see it as, the worst story I've ever heard. But the reason I say that the worst part of it is the script is because every time I see a new dialogue scene between two characters, unless it's the lead investigator guy and Lee, uh, she, it, every other character, it seems like they're not actually having a conversation. They talk past each other like they're delivering dialogue past each other, literally to the left of them into thin air. It's really weird. I feel like it was a stylistic choice, so I don't want to harp too much on it, but that struck me as odd, and it made it hard for me to view the movie. The other really big negative that I had was probably just the setting in which I watched this. I watched this with obviously not feeling the best, but also, I was sitting in a lit office, and I was watching it on my phone. And this really feels like a movie that you need at least a decent sized TV to fully enjoy, and you really need to watch it in the evening or at night to kind of get the claustrophobic atmosphere that they're trying to put on. Because I feel like there's a whole lot of camera work that is very dependent on the environment in which you're seeing it. Honestly, I missed out by not seeing this in theaters. And the last thing I kind of want to touch on, and I'm just going to barely touch on it because it's really not that big of a deal, but the in the middle of the film, you're introduced to the character Carrie Ann, and she just the actor really didn't sell this performance to me. It didn't really sell the character at all. I felt like her dialogue was written so clunky, which kind of goes back to the script, but it's also just the way that she's performing it. She's supposed to have a very, I guess, southern affect, and it just doesn't really come across. I don't feel that this actor did a good enough job, or perhaps it's the direction that she got to play this particular character. I mean, she fits perfectly within this universe because everything in this movie is pretty weird and strange, but it just felt very off from what I'm used to because I've heard people speak with that affect a lot in my life, and it did not come across to me at all. So I'll stop harping on it now, but I just felt like I needed to mention that part in particular because it's one of the only other things that I really didn't care for in this movie. And now is the fun part of the video where I get to slip out of my grumpy trousers here to go ahead and praise this movie because I actually really enjoyed it. It's weird for me to say that because of all the things that I just mentioned before, because in other movies I would definitely call out all of the things that, uh, you know, I found very endearing about the script were made 10 times better. The script is definitely elevated by the direction. And that by far is the best part of this movie. The directing and the cinematography and just the way that they are conveying this story is nothing short of incredible, really. Uh, it's a very strange atmosphere that they put on, and without all of the long takes, the dolly shots, the movement of the camera, the framing of all of these shots, the set design, the locations that they chose, without all of that coming together, this would have been an incomprehensible movie. And I really have to uh, say that it cannot be stated enough that this director was incredible with this. It's honestly some of my favorite filming since something like, I don't know, The Witch, which is one of my favorite films of all time. Not that this is as good as The Witch, but it's still very good and beautifully shot, beautifully acted, in stark contrast to what I was saying in my grumpy pants part of this video. The uh, performances were great all the way around. Honestly, everyone did a good job except for her. Of course, you got to call out Nick Cage because Nick Cage is, a once in a lifetime talent. I think he might be the only one ever kind of talent. And he did a great job as the titular Longlegs. Spoilers, I guess. This movie's been out for a while, so if you see this video and that spoiled it, I'm sorry, but he's great in it and he does a really good job. It was almost unrecognizable. I mean, I've seen a lot of Nick Cage movies in my life, and he was very, very different. The transformation that he goes through with the makeup and the costuming and all of that was definitely a breath of fresh air for this actor and this movie. The other thing in this movie that I really don't think I could praise enough is the music and the sound design in this movie. It really kind of does pull everything together. The editing team does a lot of the heavy lifting here as well with that sound design. The thing that I really thought of a lot while I was watching this was just a painting, like a really kind of scary gothic painting. I've said gothic so many times in the last couple of days, but it's whatever. Um, the painting style that I'm talking about is that it's very pretty, it's very mysterious, and there's a lot of room for interpretation. And the music really adds to that and makes it what I'm gonna call almost pretentious. And I say that with all of the love in my heart because, again, I really can't praise this movie enough. They do a really good job with all of the theming, which there's a dozen videos out that you can go look at to describe the themes and talk about all the themes in depth. I didn't get a ton out of that. I thought it was a bit incomprehensible with the dialogue choices that were there, but I'm being positive in this section of the video. Now, with all of that being said or not said, considering this is probably one of my least focused rambles I've ever done on this channel, I would solidly recommend this movie, even though I'm going to have to watch it probably 2 or 3 more times in my life before I really love it, like other people seem to love it. But that could be all the ads that kept coming up while I was watching it. But with that, I am going to go ahead and end this video here. If you like this video, leave me a like. And if you didn't like it, leave me a comment telling me how much I suck down in the comment section below. And hit subscribe because I'm hoping to make a few more things. There's about 7 other things I've got cooking right now. This was just something that I wanted to get out quick and dirty like. But until next time, I'm the Ice King, and I'll see you in the next one.